I'm texting dog, no response. His manager.
So you worried at this point?
I thought
screwed
me and Snoop were going to jail. I thought I was going to be responsible for getting Snoop in trouble for something. I was like, fuck, man, what did I do? I felt sick to my stomach.
I'm Louis Cole. Welcome to the Recharged podcast. In this series, I invite fellow content creators and artists to explore exciting ways to make a difference in the world. I take my guests to visit local social good projects in my self-converted electric 1973 Volkswagen van. We have real and raw conversations about life and hear from social good heroes that we can all be inspired by.
On today's podcast, our guest is Jesse Wellens, an award-winning filmmaker, director, musician, fashion enthusiast, and philanthropist. Jesse was one of the early, biggest YouTube creators and pioneered the pranking and daily vlogging genres on YouTube with his former partner Jeana on their channels PrankVsPrank and BoyfriendVsGirlfriend. He has built a social following of over 23 million. He's more recently pursued a passion for music video directing, working with some of the biggest names in music.
So, welcome back to the podcast. I'm here with Jesse Wellens. We have been friends for a long time. Before we really dive in though, Jesse just suggested we went and got coffee, which I'm definitely up for. I'm a bit of a coffee fiend, and yeah, it's always nice getting coffee.
Yeah, I mean, I had a late night. I haven't had my coffee yet, but I've eaten breakfast, and I want to be fully here for this podcast.
It's cool to be back in the neighborhood.
Yeah, you've been gone, right? Are you moving to Costa Rica?
Yeah, so me and Jesse used to be pretty much neighbors. Like, we were kind of like...
We were full-on neighbors, but we didn't see each other enough.
We didn't see each other lots.
We were like, literally, I could spit on his place.
But then I moved to the beach house, and now, yeah, me and Raya are nomadic again. So we've driven the school bus. You've seen the school bus, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we drove it all the way to Nashville. And then eventually, I might go back to Europe for a couple of months, and then eventually we're going to drive it down to Costa Rica. Well, whilst we're waiting, this would be a good opportunity. What I do with most guests is to get them to give their life story in 3 minutes. And then we'll dive into more bits. But
wow, from like birth?
Just, yeah, like your whole journey, your personal life, your history, and I guess how you got into YouTube and all of that stuff. For people that don't know, I'm sure a lot of people do.
Okay,
but
okay, in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Starting now?
Yeah.
Okay, shit, there's a lot. I'm originally from Philadelphia. I'm originally from Philadelphia. I started doing YouTube actually in 2006.
OG.
Back in the day. I actually did videos online on break.com, this website called break.com. I'm sure you're familiar with this story, Lily. And I was also in the military for 6 years. So while my time in the military, I was stationed in Korea, and in Korea they didn't have any television for me to watch. So the way I was consuming content back then was through online video, but YouTube wasn't even really a thing yet. But there was this website called break.com, and break.com was just like a list of funny videos for the week, and it was like a lot of home videos. Basically what YouTube is. But if your video went on a homepage, it'd give you $200, and it was just a bunch of stupid, silly videos. And I'd watch that in Korea. So when I went back to the States, I was like, yo, I want to get a video on break.com for $200. So I dared my girlfriend at the time to eat cinnamon. She ate the cinnamon, choked on the cinnamon. I put it on break.com. They gave me $200. I created the cinnamon challenge, which I'm not very proud of. But that was
that was before the cinnamon challenge?
Yeah, okay. I was the
Okay.
first one that did the cinnamon challenge. Okay. Like I dared her to eat cinnamon, and I made $200. And I was like, that was the easiest fucking $200 I ever made. Can I curse?
Yeah.
And then we just didn't stop. Then we started pranking each other. We making YouTube videos. We started daily vlogging. We were like one of the early daily vloggers after like Shay and Charles. Jen and I were daily vlogging, and we created this crazy online following on YouTube for years, from pranking each other to doing vlog videos, and we were hitting a lot of viral stuff like over and over again. At one point, I think in like 2013 or 14, our two YouTube channels, PrankVsPrank and BF1sGF, were the most viewed for the month, like for 3 months.
Oh, wow.
You know how like Mr. Beast is probably the most viewed, like in that
So you were like right at the
for
top.
like three months in that year. We were like we were not just the top, but 1 and 2. We had 2 YouTube channels. Like I was like, yo, we're crushing it.
Yeah.
So we did that shit forever, and then like daily vlogging get burnt out, and relationship fell through with me and my ex, and I just wanted, and I became such a great filmmaker for making videos every day for 6 years straight. I vlogged every day for 6 years straight, and I got really good at it. I'm trying to do this in 3 minutes, so that's why
That's good. You're doing good. You're doing good.
And so yeah, daily vlogging every day for 6 years straight is stressful. Louis, you could talk on that. Like you did it traveling too. That's even crazier. So traveling or vlogging for 6 years straight was stressful. I was like my mental health was messed up, but I made 4,000 videos, so I got really good at storytelling and creating and editing. So I moved to LA, and now I'm trying to step more into bigger productions, movies, music videos. Just did a music video. I did music videos for Snoop. We can get into all that crazy stuff. Did 3 music videos for Snoop. One of them, we had to speak to the Secret Service.
That's a whole nother story. We'll dive in there.
But now, so now I feel like I've graduated from a YouTuber to a full-on director. I'm getting directing gigs that have nothing to do with my following, which is pretty cool. That's where I'm at. Is that good? I don't know.
No, that was cool. And like, it's been amazing knowing you from a while. I reckon we must have met back in 2014, 2015, maybe earlier. I can't really remember, but it was amazing to see.
Way back,
it was probably at like a VidCon.
No, we know. We remember when we first met.
It's at the hotel.
The hotel. We did a prank. You pretended to eat a piece of dog poop in the pool. Human poop. We don't know. It was candy.
So yeah, it's been amazing. Obviously, a lot of people say I'm like the OG like daily vlogger. I'm like, nah. I was like the second generation, really.
Same. I was the second generation.
It was like it was like Shay Carl, Charles,
Justine. DeFranco, Shane Dawson, but like daily vloggers, Shay, Charles.
Yeah, and then obviously, like you said, it was amazing in so many ways. But what a lot of people don't know is the toxic side of it all. We've both experienced like, the burnout, the feeling disillusioned, and you kind of lose the purpose of what you're doing because it's so single focused on. I mean, I don't know. I guess you felt the same. All your focus is you wake up, right? What am I filming today? What am I making? Then you're staying up late editing, and it's just like that conveyor belt. And it's brilliant. And I wouldn't change what happened for me, but there's a lot of lessons I learned with it too.
Like there's that saying of like be present in the moment. Fuck that, bro. You are not present as a daily vlogger. You are gone. You're gone. You're disattached.
Yeah.
There's no present. Like, and that's what I've learned now. Even when I stopped, I still wasn't present. Like, I had to learn.
Took me probably a year or two.
Yeah, because your brain is just like, what am I vlogging? What am I doing? What am I living through this story? What are people saying about it? And if you do it every day, bro, just imagine. It's nuts.
Yeah.
So
So I think for both of us, it was a similar timing. I guess you moved to Venice first, like 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago or something. When did you first get here?
I moved here like 5 years ago.
Oh, 5 years ago?
Yeah, about 5 now.
Okay, wow. So I moved here like 3 years ago and had this similar thing of like, I need to just find that kind of peace and presence again. And like had to detach myself from this identity of like the YouTuber, the vlogger, fun for Louis, like that's who I am, and like kind of rediscover who I really am.
Yeah.
And I feel like we, in some ways, went on a similar journey. And Venice was a good place to
very good because there was a good community of people that are very like spiritual and grounded and present.
Yeah.
And it was like I was getting called out. Like they were telling me to my face, like, you're not here, Jesse. Like when I first started meeting like Blue, she was like, now I can understand. I didn't know where she was coming from. I didn't know. Yeah. But now like I can look her in her eyes and eye gaze somebody now. Like, because like somebody that's not present, they can't even look somebody in the eyes and have a conversation. Their brain's thinking about what they're gonna vlog, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's been a cool process and it's been amazing to see your kind of transformation. And I even remember like, you were a different person, and I probably was too, but like from the vlog, like the prank versus prank days to now, I feel like you've had a full transformation.
Oh, definitely. I definitely feel like I've grown as a person fully. Yeah.
And it's been great to see that journey, man.
I appreciate that. You too, man. But you've always been very like grounded and conscious, and like you've always had that like that ability, but I just know
I definitely lost that ability to be present though. I agree with that, man. Like just, and it was tough as well. I mean, we can dive more into this, but like being in a relationship, daily vlogging, like the moment I met Raya was on camera, the first 3 years of our relationship was every day. And it's like, you know, she kept on saying, oh, it felt like there was like a third person in our relationship.
Definitely.
And that's what eventually contributed to like the breakdown with you and Jeana, right?
Yeah, it was like I almost felt like I was like, because we vlogged our relationship mainly, like the number one comment, it was like, when are you gonna get married, or when are you gonna propose to Jen? Like, imagine just having millions of people telling you to propose to someone. You're like, am I proposing to her because I'm getting famous, or am I proposing to her because I love her? Like, I'm lost. I don't know where my head is.
Yeah.
I'm unconscious. I don't know. I'm like, the line, and it was kind of crazy because her and I, like Jen and I, we had conversations about like, is this going too far? And it was always like, nah, we'll be fine. It was like, you think that everything will be fine. You're like, nah, we'll know not to get run up, like spun up in this. Like, we know. No, you don't know. You don't know.
So,
I'm gonna go get the coffee.
yeah, let's get it. And do you want Justin to run in and get it? Or do you need to
Oh yeah,
show
you
your
can probably
phone?
run in.
Justin, can you grab the coffee?
It's right here, Blue Stone. It's already paid for. Just say Jesse.
Okay.
Sweet.
So yeah, that's just really like turned your life upside down.
Yeah.
Kind
absolutely.
of that relationship ending, and then was it around a similar time that your mum passed away?
Oh yeah, that was just like the crazy. That was like the defining moment in my life as a daily vlogger. Was you know, we're daily vlogging every day, and this situation with my mom happened. My mom was a drug addict and mental health issues and all these things towards the end of her life, and she went missing. And I'm like a daily vlogger, and I'm like, what do I do? Like, I don't vlog. Like, I don't want to vlog right now. Like, and like, without saying too much.
Yeah, you don't need to share too much, but
I don't want to get all emotional, but like, I lost my mom, and at that moment, I'm just like, did I not spend enough time with her? Was I vlogging too much? And I stopped. That's when I kind of was like, I just felt like running. Like, at that moment, I just wanted to run. So my first instinct was like, I don't want to vlog. I need to distract myself. I broke up with Jen like 3 weeks after my mom died, and I broke up with her because I was just like panicking. I was like, I need to run, and I just like packed 2 suitcases and went to New York and like distracted myself in the most toxic way. And that was like when I was at the height of like unconsciousness and just like, yeah. Oh, we got this coffee.
let's grab these.
At a perfect moment to break that up for me.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to dive into
Yeah,
much
no,
deep.
we can. This is why we do
deeper.
these things.
This is compostable plastic cups that we're drinking out of. I always check. I'm like, please tell me this is like not just straight plastic, but
Oh no, there's some.
and earth-friendly straws. Wow. Pay up.
They try to do a good job in Venice, like Bali.
Okay. Man, I love Venice.
I do too, but I do like traveling too. I actually am moving out of my place too.
I thought you were going to move to Tulum. When you went there, you were like, I'm never coming back.
I thought I was gonna move to Tulum also. I still, like, you know what? But Tulum, you know what? Tulum is amazing, but it really is starting to get like blown out in the sense like it's getting Cancun-y, like party vibes, like if anything that has like that original like hippie vibe that's like no one knows about eventually like elevates. But I love Tulum. I definitely go back. Just a lot of cartel there. Don't kill me, cartel. I made a whole video about your cool town.
So let's just jump back for a second. So obviously a lot of what people see of our lives online, our daily vlogs, Instagram posts, whatever, is this like great life. I was just traveling the world non-stop. You know, we show one side of what's going on, and then you just shared like 2 major parts of your life which were just super, super tough things to deal through, like a breakup and your mum dying. What do you think's really helped you through that struggle? Because these are things that are like you said, life-defining. Like, these are things that will mess you up. And what do you think's been some of the tools you've had that have helped you with, like, you know, overcoming like the mental health, the depression, the sadness, all of that stuff?
So, like when I said that I just wanted to run and distract myself, the way I was distracting myself, and I said was toxic, was like with women. Like I would go on a lot of dates, and like I'm newly single, and I was just distracting myself with that, and that went on for like a good year probably after it happened. and that was when I was kind of just bouncing around from hotel, because I left the house to my ex, and I just...
You were living in Philly then.
Yeah, and I was like, she was staying there, and I just like went into hotels and Airbnbs and just moved around the country, like from New York and San Francisco, and then I come to LA, and I'm like, okay, well, for one, like the weather. I was like, okay, that was a reason for me to stay. But then I started falling into like community and these new like friends. Like you fell into the same community, which was kind of epic. You know, like we went through the show and we found this community. And this community of people that are just like amazing, like we're saying, like conscious, and I don't know how to describe what you would call.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I always saw it as like, okay, so the main thing that ties them together is they do acro yoga, right?
Right, that was
the original reason.
That's what pulled me in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm in this bad like fuckboy mentality right now. I'm like, oh, any way to pick up girls and put them down, I'm in, you know.
Was that the original reason?
No. But like, I'm sure there was some like my brain. I'm telling you, I was in a bad place, and I can admit it and be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And but John, like John was so dope, and it was just like, it was past the acro, and it was just like this community of friends that like wanted to be my friend, not because I was a YouTuber or
no one cares.
No one gave a shit about my following, and I felt like I did have a lot of fake friends like in my come up in the YouTube days, like that came into my life, and it didn't feel genuine. This new group of friends didn't even know who the fuck I was, and I was like, this is amazing. And they didn't care though. Even if they did, they didn't care. It was more like a loving friend and community, and someone that cared for me and was honest to me, like telling me how I show up. So yeah, that was definitely the thing that helped the most.
Wow. So, and I think that, I definitely think being in the influencer YouTuber space can become really lonely because of that, because you suddenly get all this fame, recognition, money, like whatever, like, and I think that can isolate people because there's like a lack of trust in people. Like, are they just using me? Or maybe friends from our back in the day just don't understand our lives anymore. They're like, wait, there's no relatability to what we're doing.
Right.
And with daily vlogging, you don't get to hang out with anyone because unless they're part of the daily vlog, it's like they're not a priority, which is what I found. Like, I definitely neglected some of my friendships, but from all of that, it's like I got to the same space of like needing community and just so like desperate for like, I just want some real connections with people, and I don't want to just see everything through the eyes of like making YouTube videos. And
I definitely have this trauma now. I have this trauma whenever someone is vlogging, or like, say someone that's like a vlogger that shows up to your house and then you answer the door, they have the camera in their hand, hey! It's like, I have this trauma, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You just want to come over to vlog me? Are you really happy to see me? Even though they probably are, but I'm just like, I got so much trauma from it. I'm just like, it's weird. Like, it happened the other day, and I kind of snapped a little bit, and then I like snapped, and like I was like being kind of on edge. When it was out, like I was like very like awkward about it.
But the funny thing is, we were also...
I know!
We were that person.
I'm saying it's trauma. Yeah, we were that person. Like, yo, what's up? Be in my video. You don't even know me. I'm putting you on fucking TV.
We would be... I remember saying goodbye to people and hello to people on camera, and then I'll be like, put the camera down. Okay, let's say a real... Let's say a real goodbye now.
Yeah.
But it was like a fake goodbye.
Oh, man, it's crazy. What did we do, Louis? We did that. We were a big part of that. We are responsible.
I know.
It's crazy. I always think about that now, like when the Logan shit came out when he filmed the dead body.
I'm like, yeah.
I was like, yo, I feel responsible.
We probably contributed to that.
I was like, I feel responsible for that.
I related to that though, not that, I don't think I would have gone that far, but I understand the mentality that drove that to happen.
Right, because he was so... I like to call it head in the clouds when you're unconscious. Like, he was so fucking unconscious at that point because he's killing it.
Yeah.
Like, I've been there, he's killing it. No one can tell you shit.
Yeah.
No, I know everything because I am killing it. Every comment is telling me I'm killing it. My friends can't tell me if I'm wrong because they're not doing it, I'm doing it. So that's where his head's at. So even if someone was like, Logan, I don't know if we should post that. He was like, fuck you, I know what I'm doing. You know? So, yeah. I can understand where his head was at.
Yeah, and it's cool to see someone like Logan
Yeah, he's matured
progress and mature and like...
Because he found the right community. You know who his homie was.
Yeah.
Give him a shout out.
Yeah, well, him, Andre, and Spencer were like on Logan's team. I think it was maybe just after the Japan stuff, but they were like helping with the filming, and obviously Spencer was part of
Those are two really good community-driven people, that were good for him to like kind of pull him out. Like, yo, bro, get your head out of the clouds, and so that's really good for him.
Yeah. I feel like maybe Jake needs a bit of that as well. I don't know
you know
Jake as well, but I watch it and I'm
he
just
definitely does. But I see my one boy Abak Ibu.
Oh yeah.
He's dope. He's fucking dope. He does body work and stuff, and he's
saw him flying Jake doing the afro stuff.
He's in the community, so he's probably.
And Hella and Lucas. You know
Lucas, yeah.
Lucas.
Those are two really. Yeah, I see him doing breathwork. I'm like, yo, he might win. He's doing breathwork. He might win, and he did. So those are two good guys in his camp. So he just needs another guy that's gonna like tell him how he's showing up and like let him know that like, yo, because he thinks like playing this villain and snatching people's hat and shit. He's like, it's working. What are you talking about? It's working. And it is working. I ain't denying that. But there's gonna be one more thing that he does. It's gonna set it over the top again. You know?
Yeah, it's interesting seeing that he's purposefully wanting to be the person that people hate and be the villain. And I cannot relate to that at all. And it's not like I need everyone to love me, but I definitely feel like there's something about putting positive energy out into the world versus negative energy.
Right.
And I just don't understand the tactic, even if it is a big PR stunt, of being this negative person.
In my opinion, I think Jake loves the fame and the money and the popularity more than his reputation and more than the well-being of the world. He cares more about himself. He's selfish in that sense. That's what I would tell him if I could. I'd be like, yo, you're being selfish. Like, you care more about your fame and your money than you being an impact on the world. I just hope like
there'll be a redemption story. There'll be something happen.
He'll make it to that point of money. He's like, I have all the money. What the fuck now? And he's gonna be fucking miserable. And be like, yeah, fucking acts of service, bro. Try it. You're gonna feel amazing.
Did you have a turning point for you where you felt empty with all the, like you said, you were literally number one on YouTube. And then did you have a turning point where it was like you want your life to have a deeper purpose, or like you wanted to do good in the world? Like,
yeah, I think like when my head was in the clouds, I wasn't even thinking about that. Like Jake's not thinking about that right now. His head's in the clouds. So it wasn't even in sight. But when I would do like charitable things in the vlogs when we were killing it, it didn't even really. I think I was just too unconscious to let it set in on like I'm doing something good. I'm just more worried about like, am I doing it for the right reasons right now? Like it's bad. But as I finally got out of that world, I realized that like you can have all the money in the world, you can have all the fame in the world. Who gives a fuck? You're not going to be happy. If you can walk around your neighborhood and people saying, hey, Jesse, because you did something for your neighborhood, that feels amazing. Like, that's what I want to do now. Like, so like when I did that, when I helped clean up the streets, the homeless people, like 3 years ago, and I'm walking around town talking to them, I was like, yo, I feel way more like benefits of my happiness from comments from some homeless person on the street than people on the internet, like in my community.
Because you're making a real difference. And it's not like, I'm not saying your vlog didn't make a difference, because obviously both of us have had those encounters with audience members where you're like, you're the entertainment and fun, the entertainment and fun that your videos brought, like carried people through really dark times. So both of us know that's the thing, but then it's like,
our head was so high in the clouds that we didn't. Well, for me, it was like I didn't even let that resonate with me. It was just like, oh yeah, whatever. They subscribed, maybe. Like you're fucked, bro. It's like a trap.
Yeah, and then it's cool seeing people like Jimmy, Mr. Beast, where it seems like he is kind of obsessed with the the views and, you know, achieving the, you know, he's killing it right now.
Right.
But he also has this seemingly like bigger goal of like changing the world, and he's setting up the food banks, and he started the philanthropy channel, and it's like, I love the balance he's got where he's really promoting, instead of like this culture of like Lamborghinis and Hollywood Hills and like flexing, he's like, no, give all your money away, like let's be generous.
Yeah, which is
and
amazing.
It's still done in a very entertaining kind of clickbait way, but I do really admire what Jimmy's done.
I do too. I'm just worried about him. This is why. I think he is also very, I think his identity is sitting in how many subscribers he has. Like, I think that's where he feels his identity is still, because I read him a tweet the other day. He's like, I shot 3 videos. I can't use any of them.
Yeah, and they were like, he'd spent $1 million.
And in my mind, I'm just like, bro, you're I know where his head's at. You always think you got to be as good as your last video, or no one's going to be subscribed anymore. Like,
it's impossible to always do a better video.
Yeah, he just do stuff, man, and like not worry about it as much. And if it's something that's going to help the world, like he's doing, that shit is dope, you know.
Yeah. And then the danger comes when maybe for whatever reason, out of his control, his channel doesn't perform as well. The videos go down. I mean, I guess he has been in the game a long time, but he was only, I think originally the first like 5 years of him, he didn't really get anywhere, and then so maybe he will adapt and understand, you know, the videos that are succeeding now might not succeed in 2 years, or YouTube might change the algorithm or whatever. And then if your identity is too tied up in being the #1 YouTuber,
you're gonna be very sad.
Yeah.
And you gotta be ready to know that. I think I was always good at, when I was like at the height, I'm like, knowing people aren't gonna watch me forever. Like, there's gonna be a day that I'm not, and I gotta be okay with that. But like, instead of like being depressed that that's gonna happen or it's happening, I was like, what do I want to do, like, with myself? Like, what do I want to create? Like, what are my other things that I could do? And I'm like, I want to make movies. So I just started leaning into that, and that's where I like use all my brain power and energy and to like understanding or getting on set or getting acting jobs just so I could be on productions. And I'm okay with that. I'm just like, yo, if no one watches my YouTube channel, if I put one up tomorrow, it doesn't bother me.
Do you think over the last couple of years of kind of like finding yourself, you have a clearer idea of like what your life mission is or your purpose or anything like that? Do you feel like there's a clearer sense of like what your, or even some big goals you have?
Since I stopped doing YouTube, or just in general?
Yeah, like recently, like has there been any, like right now?
Oh yeah.
I guess what I'm asking is like right now, do you have like a life mission?
Yeah.
And are there some big goals you have?
Yeah, I definitely want to, you know, write and direct a full-length feature film. That is, you know, a story, not like a documentary or anything. That's in the movies. I'm going to do that, actually. I'm not going to say I want to. I'm going to do that. And it's going to be a piece of art that's going to be, you know, talked about on this planet for years, because it was such a film that was amazing. Like, kids are going to have that poster in their house for years, like Scarface or something.
Can you cast me as like a background character?
1000%.
I'm so down.
I mean, I really believe that, though. Like, I do believe that I will do that.
Oh, I believe it too, bro.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, what? It would be crazy if it didn't happen. Like,
yeah.
I feel like it's so clear to see in your life, even when you're saying maybe you weren't in a good place, you still had that drive and that commitment to just do stuff. Like, it's amazing to see what you have achieved, and I feel like when you put your mind to something, like, you're one of those people, and I feel like I relate to that as well. Like, we do stuff, like, we don't just talk about it, you know.
Right. But yeah, definitely, I think in the past couple of years, I used to doubt myself. I'm like, I would like to do that. I don't think I'll ever be able to. That seems too hard. But now, like, thinking about me directing and writing a movie, I'm like, oh shit, I could do that. I'm gonna do that. Like, that's not hard. I could do that. Maybe because I got
what genre would it be?
Well,
do you have an idea?
Yeah.
Okay, don't tell me that. Obviously, it's a secret, but like, what genre is it? Like action, fantasy, comedy?
The dream film is like a mob film.
Nice.
But like, I I feel like my first like smaller budget film will be like a comedy, like my first like full length feature. I am writing like a scripted show right now. I just finished the first like the pilot episode, and I think I'm not even gonna do the rest of the episodes. Like I wrote it in a way that it's open for me to really open up this world, like a Game of Thrones, but it's not like in that era, but like it could last for a while. Yeah. It's open with a lot of characters. But I wrote the pilot and it's done. So I'm like, all right, I'm starting to cast now. So I'm casting right now.
Oh,
and
sweet.
as far as like getting it paid for, it's almost so easy for me. Like, cause I kind of like, once you move to LA, you kind of get to meet people and know people, and you just put a script in front of them and an idea. They're like, oh, should I get this? Like everyone, especially right now, content is dying to be made, like Netflix, HBO,
well,
all the streaming
services. Especially with a year of like stuff not being made.
Right, so it's like people want to buy shit right now, and it's so I'm like I feel in a good place with that.
I want to change the subject for a second, but I feel like we could talk for hours, and maybe we will later on about this next topic. But I'd love to just to touch on it for a second. Is cryptocurrencies?
Yeah.
So I've been following like your latest posts and tweets and just seeing like your excitement for this new world that's opening up of crypto.
Yeah.
I also dived in a few months ago.
Okay.
Invested quite a bit of money.
Same.
And right now it's
we're
a
bleeding.
shit show. Like it's
we're
crazy,
bleeding.
but
hold.
But I still believe, and what excites me about it, obviously it's like half of me is like, this is quick money, or it potentially could be quick money, it's like gambling, it's like the stock market and all that. But then the other side of me is super excited about what the potential of a decentralized currency where people it gives so much freedom back to people. And I think when it becomes, for me, not just an investment that we're like trying to make like US dollars from, but it becomes an actual currency which is useful. I don't know, I don't understand a lot. I've been trying to dive in. I know you've been like, I keep getting alerts on Twitter, like Jesse's doing another like talk on crypto.
Yeah,
I mean, this is something that's exciting you right now.
Yeah,
right?
So something about me is something is new, like for instance, YouTube was new.
Yeah,
and
you're an early adopter.
Right, so I lived, eat, breathe, understanding why things were working, how are they working, and how do I get involved. For the first like year when YouTube was like, before I really started popping off.
I think you were number 5 on the Enneagram. Do you know the Enneagram? It's like a personality test.
No.
There's I'm a number 7, which is the enthusiast, and the number 5 is the investigator, where you have to like, you need to like know,
Right.
When you get interested in something, you study it.
I study it.
Yeah.
And I'm really good at educating myself and finding information, because there's a lot of false information you got to be careful understanding, and like those talks on Twitter are really good because I'm talking to another person. But yeah, so my head's been down in the crypto space. Like I'm like, I feel like it almost is exciting. It feels like what it was for me when I first got into like understanding YouTube. It was like, oh, there's this new thing that if you're educated on it, you could win. You could win. And when I talk to other people about it, on how uneducated people really are, I'm like, holy fuck, there's something here. I'm like, hold on, I gotta know more. So now I'm like, I can explain.
I saw you the other day, like, call yourself, you're like, oh, it's been like what did you say, like a crypto influencer or something?
I'm like slowly becoming into a crypto influencer.
Yeah.
Just on Twitter though. I mean, I haven't got into like getting on YouTube yet, but I feel like Twitter is the crypto space anyways.
Right, let's go in. We've arrived at this organisation. I haven't told Jesse anything about it yet, but we're going to go in and we're going to cook some food.
Oh, are we going to eat?
Yeah, we're going to eat.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, dope. Okay. Oh yeah, this is fun.
Today we're visiting Meymuna, Hussein-Cattan and Christian Davis, both co-founders of Flavors from Afar, a restaurant that works with refugees to share their traditional home-cooked dishes to create a rotating international menu. Flavors from Afar has had the goal of helping both the world as well as the communities that the business is connected to as an extension of the TIA Foundation, an organisation that helps refugees, asylum seekers and displaced Americans re-assimilate into the country. Flavors from Afar provides work, a source of income for those in need. With refugees from Somalia, Egypt, Eritrea, Syria, and several other countries, they highlight a new menu each month with recipes provided by those who immigrated here and gives them a percentage of the proceeds earned.
We have arrived. Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I'm Louis. Nice
Hi,
to meet you.
Louis.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi, Jesse.
Nice to
My
meet
name is
you.
Meymuna.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, yeah, thank you for being here.
Yeah. So I haven't told Jesse anything that's going on about the organisation or anything. So you're from Flavors from Afar, right?
Yes, so Flavors from Afar is a social enterprise. We're based in Little Ethiopia, right near Lakma, and we rotate international cuisines created by refugee chefs every month. And proceeds go back to my nonprofit organization, TIA, where we support refugee families that are starting over in Orange County and LA.
Amazing. Cool. And then are we like tasting some food today? Are we going to have a go at like cooking some stuff? Or?
Yeah, so you're going to learn how to make some vegan dishes with our program instructor, Chef Jeana.
Yeah.
And we also set up the dining table so we could all sit down and have a family style lunch.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
I love
Yeah.
it.
I
Cool.
didn't know I was getting fed too
Yeah.
on this podcast.
Of course. I'm not sure what we're cooking today, but
Yeah, we have.
is it Ethiopian food that we're cooking?
Oh, foods. Today is options from Palestine, Afghanistan, and Somalia.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
so 3 different countries.
Oh, nice. Right. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Yeah, good. Do you also work for Flavors from Afar?
Yeah, I'm the co-founder of the restaurant and the program manager at the TIA Foundation.
Sweet.
Meymuna found me out and said, we're going to make your life instantly more valuable, and now I'm here. It's been a really good first.
And what's your name?
My name's Christian.
Christian.
Nice to meet
Good
you.
to meet you. This is
Jesse.
Jesse.
great to
I like
meet
your
you.
hair.
Thank you,
It's
brother.
pretty friggin' epic, yeah.
Thanks, man.
So neither of your backgrounds were necessarily in the food industry and restaurant industry.
No.
Not necessarily, but Flavors from Afar originated as a catering service in 2018, right around the time that the nonprofit had to pivot and figure out ways to be self-sustainable. And I've always admired the social enterprise model of having a meaningful product or service that goes back to a population. In my case, it's to help refugee families. So we started off as a catering service, 2018, and long story short, we opened up a restaurant during a pandemic.
Yeah.
Very ambitious. Very ambitious. Wow.
Yeah, so proceeds go back to the organization, and TIA is designed to help refugees, immigrants, and displaced indigenous communities. And we've been around since 2010.
And prior to the restaurant, were you just like kind of fundraising and getting donations and stuff, and then you were like, we need to shift to a more sustainable model?
Yeah, so the traditional style for a nonprofit, you know, you write the grant applications and you hope you receive the funding, or you're cultivating donors. In our case, we were leaning a lot more towards grants at the time.
And then they must have dried up, and like it's been hard in the grant world, right?
Yeah, so in recent years, there was a lot of budget cuts around supporting refugees and immigrants, and you know that I know that's shifting eventually, but I had to think, how is it that we sustain ourselves within the resources and the community that we currently have? So I hosted an audition with 11 refugee chefs, and we were able to employ 5. And since then, now we're rotating dishes every month, and we're able to employ 8 refugees last year, so it's pretty exciting.
Refugees from where exactly?
Unfortunately, displacement is a global issue. So we have refugees from Central America, Middle East, East Africa, Eastern Europe, you name it. I think.
I mean, just from someone that I just want to understand more when I hear refugee and like what caused them to become a refugee? Like, what's happening? Like, I don't fully know. Is that?
Yeah, so usually it's due to violence or political persecution, conflicts that are happening. In my case, my family, for example, fled Ethiopia in the 70s because of political conflicts that were happening internally. And after fleeing, they met in a refugee camp in Somalia, and that's where I was born. So the concept of displacement and having to start over, reinvent your lives, that's something that's close to home for me.
Right.
What was your story of coming to America? Was that a tough, like how did that happen?
You know, like a lot of children of immigrants, I feel a little removed. It feels like I was observing my family starting over and figuring themselves out and hearing stories. One story is how my mom just never saw an escalator until we showed up in New York. Or how, you know, coming here and growing up in Orange County, but then they had to learn English while learning and figuring out just minute things like taking public transportation, figuring out resources. So I thought, you know, why can't we just have organizations that make the process easy, you know, make that transition a lot easier, quicker, give them the blueprint, you know?
And help provide income and jobs and support and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sustainable support for the long term, not just for the time being, or even to come across like as performative as well, right? Because oftentimes you'll see there will be a fundraiser, and then you donate money or money's given, and then you don't know what happens to the people after that, how long they're really supported for.
Yeah, it might just be like a one-off thing.
Correct. And if the things that they were provided, is that what they even really needed, or did we just assume they needed like pantry items or toothbrushes and stuff like that, you know? So it's with TF Foundation, and they've since I've been on board in this last, it was roughly 2 years, and just sort of observing like how Meymuna works and how everything works, it is very much like hands-on. You are really seeing what their struggles are on a almost on a day-to-day basis, and you have to be prepared and really patient to understand that sometimes they don't even necessarily believe you're going to have their best interest in mind, and especially with someone like working here at the restaurant, they thought like we were trying to steal the recipes, and it's like, no, we're trying to help you and then provide you income with something that you already do, and then keep that going if people want to hire you for something else.
Well, they come from a place of being robbed, essentially. So they're like, that's the trauma.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing.
Robbed
That
of your
really,
home.
like, their traumas are still here. Anyway.
Yeah, like just cultural identity, and then just feeling uprooted. And I feel like it could happen to any one of us at any time, you know? Like in California, we're always waiting for the big earthquake. Like anyone could be displaced.
Right.
Well, they're saying over the next few decades, there's going to be so many climate refugees, and it's going to be overwhelming. I remember watching, I can't remember what doc it was, but it was like Barack Obama was asked about like what's his biggest worry, and it was like basically the conflict that's going to arise when tens of millions of people are going to have to like flee certain areas of the country, and then it's going to suddenly be this like
because of climate.
Yeah, because of like sea level rising or whatever it is, and it's like, whoa, like it almost seems so far away, but then it's also
so close.
not. And there's already a lot of climate refugees, right, that are coming from like areas that have been flooded, or you know, whatever it is,
Earthquakes.
Yep. So I remember around 2010-ish, like we were really aware of what was going on in New Orleans, for example, and then there was what was happening in Haiti, and you know, it doesn't stop.
Where are we right now? I wasn't even paying attention when we drove.
Is this Little Ethiopia? That's what
Little
this area
Ethiopia,
is.
yeah.
I don't know where that is. Oh, are we just south of Hollywood, maybe? I just looked on the map when we
That's
were
how
driving.
far you took me?
I didn't guess
You
so.
don't leave the west side? Jeez. We were filming the whole time. I wasn't paying attention.
So what are we making today? Is there...
Yeah, I'd like to introduce you to Chef Kenna.
Hello.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
I'm Louis.
Thanks for letting us in
Program
your
instructor.
kitchen. All right, putting on my hand protection.
Cool. So I'm just trying to
No,
think of
that
the best
dab, no.
angle.
Cut that, editor. Can we pay for our food in Dogecoin? They all looked at me like I was crazy. In about 1 year, it will make sense where we're going to be all using Dogecoin. It's going to be fine.
Jesse, can you help carry this table in with me?
Am I going to have to change my gloves?
I don't know. Yeah, we probably will.
Oh my God. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Louis.
That was my fault. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Please come to this restaurant and buy. Louis broke all their stuff, so we need.
Oh no. I'm so sorry.
So Louis like, come be on my podcast. He didn't tell me I was going to be working.
Yeah, we need to work for our food.
meal.
Yeah. There's something cool about cooking your own food. I feel like it's more satisfying when you eat it.
Oh, I love. I'm not a great cook, but I love cooking for other people.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I'm cooking like steaks, everything you don't want.
Yeah, calm down on the steaks, bro.
No, I got really good at it. Sorry.
Is that enough?
So is this dish spicy?
Not at all.
Okay.
You're not a spicy person, Jesse?
Not a super spicy person.
This dish, right, is this something that was like brought in as a recipe from one of the refugee chefs?
Yes.
Are what's your heritage? Are you from locally, or have you got your like family refugees, or?
Oh no, I'm from San Diego.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was like, I didn't want to assume, but I'm like,
No, you're good.
so not all the chefs working have are from a refugee.
Kenna's our program instructor.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you head up
Yeah.
this chef program. Okay, cool. So was this brought in from one of your chefs that was like, okay, here's a recipe from where I'm from?
Yes, so this
Cool.
is from the Afghan menu that
Yes,
we're doing this
yeah.
month. So this is what she brought in and shared with us for our vegan vegetarian option.
What nationalities are all of your chefs? Do you know? Like all the different nationalities.
All of them? Yeah, so we've worked with chefs from Palestine, Somalia, Eritrea, Kenya, Egypt, Venezuela, Guatemala. Did I say Somalia? Somalia and Afghanistan, and next month Haiti.
Wow.
Yeah. Hopefully French Vietnamese. That works out too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be really exciting.
And it's cool that you are encouraging that you have such a variety of like global dishes, because it's like empowering people and helping them connect with their cultural roots and all of that kind of stuff.
It not only does it help that individual, but and the people who are in this area that are looking for the food. You'd be surprised how many people are looking for food from Afghanistan, Egypt, Somalia that are here in LA. But it also introduces a whole slew of new people to a new culture, and generally food is their first introduction to that culture too. So it's very important for us that we do right by the chefs, make things pretty much exactly how they like for it to be done, with very few modifications. And this way that they come away leaving that, Somalia is amazing. I love the food. I love this. And now they want to go and visit these countries because of the food. And that's really what it's all about.
Yeah. And I think we were talking about earlier the traditional nonprofit model. Like you find a problem in the community, you show that problem and the obstacles the person is facing, people fund it. But I think what's beautiful about here is you're highlighting people's skills.
Yeah.
So these are talents that they already have, like as home cook chefs, and they get to refine it here. So it's a beautiful synergy.
Learns,
Yeah.
Exchanging from everyone learns. They either cook better. They learn what they maybe the way that they always cooked something and say, oh, I can make it this way and this way. Now take down my cooking time. The quality is better. It tastes more flavorful than I thought I could have done. We're learning about different foods, different cultures, different languages sometimes too. And it's sort of like how everyone works and reacts in the kitchen is different from each country. It's really
Yeah, I always say and I kind of stole this quote. I heard Trevor Noah say it, but it was like, traveling is the antidote to ignorance.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But I think in the same way, tasting foods from different cultures, learning about even like how you eat together, like that, you were saying like once we cook this, we're gonna have like a family style meal. Like that's a new experience for a lot of kind of the Western world has become so individualized, and it's like in restaurants here, they like try and kick you out as soon as possible. And it's like, I grew up in a slightly different culture, even in the UK, where it's like a bit more relaxed. And then in mainland Europe, it's very like you'll stay all night with friends every weekdays. Yeah. It's like, and then I'm sure all over the world, there's like food brings people together. So I love this.
So we're just going to fold it over here, like you're making a cone, like you said, and then we're going to use that as our glue, and then we're going to use our finger here, and then we're going to fold over and seal the deal.
Okay, origami style.
Yep, that's right.
I got this. Okay, am I trying?
A paper airplane before,
Oh
right?
yeah, I got this.
Come on, man. Got this.
Bam.
There you go. So you went.
For-
You good? So
for-
put your finger there. Bam. Go ahead and add the.
Why my finger here? Oh, to hold that? See
Yeah,
it? Okay.
To keep that shape.
Okay.
There you go.
Then the glue
It's
goes
like an art project.
here.
Yeah.
More than that, definitely.
There you go. There you go.
Do you know what's so fascinating is seeing how different cuisines evolved from different parts of the world? Like, there's similarities, but then there's like completely different things as well sometimes. It's like,
Oh, okay. Oh, you want to seal it? Okay.
Now you're gonna bring it down and seal it.
Seal it. With the glue hand, or it doesn't matter? Bada bing, bada boom.
Every country has their fried triangle something, right? Empanada, samosa, sambusa, and egg roll is just essentially the same idea, but all the ingredients are different.
yeah. And wait, which nationality is this?
Somalia.
Somalia does the
Sambusa.
Sambusa. Sounds like sambuca, like the drink.
Yes, like the drink. That's right.
Jesse, you're an expert, bro.
That's pretty, but
That's pretty good.
Yeah, good job.
It all looks good when it's fried.
Right?
Yeah.
oh, we're frying it.
Oh, absolutely.
I was like, this looks alright, but what's gonna make
Don't
it
worry,
delicious?
you won't even know
Fried.
which one is yours.
Don't mess this up, Louis. This
Put
is
a
lunch.
little canola and olive oil blend in there.
Shall I just drop it in?
Drop it in. Don't be shy.
Nice.
There you go. So we're gonna wait till that one gets nice and brown and toasty, and then we'll turn it over.
Wow,
So
these are looking good already.
I'm starving. I heard something about fried rice. I don't know. Somebody ordered that. I'm ordering that.
The other day I was making, what do you call it? Like the fried cheese toasties. What do you call them in America?
Grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese. In the UK.
Fried cheese toasties. I'm calling them from now on.
We're making grilled cheese.
I'll let you.
And I just put the cooker on full
you burnt
flames.
it.
Yeah, and I put it on, and Raya was like, we were watching it. She's like, yeah, just leave it a bit longer. And she didn't realize I put it on full, so she's like, yeah, no, these a bit longer. And I'm like, it's looking pretty cooked. And then I flipped it over, and it was just charcoal. It was just charcoal. I was like, oh, this is super crunchy.
It's like like Louis can convert his school bus into an electric vehicle, but he can't cook a toasted melty cheese. What did you call it?
A fried cheese toasted.
He can't cook a fried cheese. I can't even say it.
Justin, what was the vegan cheese that you said was really good? Oh, chow cheese. Chow cheese. That's what I need to try out. They're getting better at all the vegan alternatives now.
Folded those. Look at those little buttes. I did that. They look perfect triangles.
They look great. They look professional.
Professional. I'm opening my own restaurant.
Man, I love having new experiences like this. Like
Yeah.
I feel like this is it's not often you get to cook
I'm
in a restaurant.
definitely very interested in cooking right now. I'm like kind of actually paying attention. Unlike if I was daily vlogging, my brain would have been like not thinking about what I'm learning right now.
Do you remember
and
when
about
we
how
were-
I would be vlogging it?
Do you remember when we were in Thailand and we were learning to cook in Thailand?
Yeah, I don't remember because I was vlogging it.
Yeah, I just remember flames and we were like,
like I wasn't like absorbing.
Yeah.
I was like, how do I film this?
yeah, I was like slow-mo flames. Like, in my head, I'm like,
yeah. That's what the
it's
problem is.
actually, it's all I remember is the slow-mo
Yeah,
flames.
no, I don't even remember the ingredients. Right now, I like listen to the ingredients of everything we've been making.
Don't worry, there's,
Whoa, sorry.
You've got a pretty big appetite, right, Jesse?
Oh yeah, I can eat. Fried food is exactly what I need right now. I was out last night.
So you could try the food you just made.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Is it? Do you do some sort of sauce, or you just go straight like this?
Yeah, let me get you some sauce.
Oh yeah, preferably spicy sauce would be great.
Okay.
I'm gonna try it without the sauce.
It's basically like a quesadilla, right?
Okay,
keep
is this
forgetting
for
the
the
names.
bologna? And this is the sambusa? Okay.
There you go.
I'll take one of these guys.
Less talking, more eating. Let's see.
We'll save some for you, Justin, don't worry.
Mm-hmm. It's spicy. The sauce is spicy. You like spice, Louis, don't
I
you?
love spice. Wow. Oh, this is spicy as well, right?
I think it's the sauce. Or is it that? Oh, maybe we did that?
You said your family's from Ethiopia?
Yeah.
Do you remember being there, or did you come to America when you were like super young?
Yeah, I was young enough, like 3.5 years old. So all I know is their stories. I didn't go back to Ethiopia until 2014. My husband and I went as like a Valentine's gift. It was really emotional. We didn't spend as much time there as I'd like to. I think if I go back, I'd probably spend like 2-3 months to really immerse myself. But when we were there, it was emotional to meet family members that always knew me through photos and watched me growing up through pictures, and then to meet in real time and experience so much love with that reunion. Yeah.
Well, that was delicious.
Yeah, well done cooking those.
You would eat that?
So, as well as providing jobs for refugees, chefs, what's the other work you're doing behind the scenes that this is helping funnel funds into?
Oh, thank you for asking. So during the pandemic, we had to pivot into emergency aid. So we were dropping off pantry items, diapers. We provided financial assistance with, paying rent or utilities, what have you. And now that society's opening back up, we're doing a relaunch this summer, actually. And we're gonna have 4 different cohorts. And so we'll have a cohort just for moms. And then those tracks will be, there's 2 tracks for each one. That one will be focused on play dates at the park. So if you wanna volunteer and join us on a weekend, it'll be like a Saturday once a month. As a guest, you would be asked to invite, to bring diapers as a gift. So you would be invited, you bring diapers as a gift, and it's a play date at the park. We have tea and, appetizers, what have you.
And this is mainly aimed at people like new refugees into the country, or is it open to anyone that's struggling, that's kind of?
It's open to anyone who's a low-income immigrant or a new refugee.
Okay.
Yeah. Ideally, if they've been here for about 5 years or less, is the idea to help build community. So that's a Tea and Tots program. We're gonna have coffee and conversation where the moms with older kids.
We love coffee.
Beautiful. So the moms with older kids could get together and practice English and meet up and socialize. It's like a hangout with coffee. And then for our youth, we're gonna incorporate flavors from afar more by introducing a culinary training program for kids ages 7 to 12. So the chefs that we highlight here once a month could teach the kids a new recipe as well. So that's really exciting. And we're gonna incorporate academics into that program.
This is all LA based?
LA, it'll be mostly Orange County, and then we're gonna expand into LA, because that's where our base is. We're based,
Okay.
yeah. And then for the older kids, it'll be more of like young adults. They'll receive life coaching. So all the things that we wish that we had prior to graduating college, they'll get to learn. So what are bills? How do you save? What's investments? How do you plan to live on your own? All of that stuff. So that's really exciting.
And this is the umbrella of what was the name of the foundation?
The TIA Foundation.
The TIA Foundation.
Yeah.
And so you could go on the website and donate.
Yes.
As of right now?
Yeah, you could go to tia.org to make a donation. And like I said, our programs are going to relaunch this summer. I explained 2 cohorts right now for the youth and the moms. And then the other 2 cohorts is economic advancement, and we also have community development. So,
My next question is, do you accept crypto for donations?
yeah, actually we do.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we do.
You should.
Awesome. Yeah, we were just talking about, like, on the way here, how can we reimagine a lot of these institutions and like these structures in society that at the moment are causing a lot of people to lose, right? They're not built to support the marginalized.
Yeah.
So I love, firstly, that you're reimagining, okay, the restaurant industry, how do we start bringing in refugees? And then it's like getting young people educated with life skills and life coaching. Like, I didn't even know what life coaching was until like a couple of years ago. So it's like realizing, we were just saying on the way here, we've only started doing a lot of our own inner work in the last few years of really like finding our purpose, being present, figuring out coping mechanisms that are healthy and all of these kind of things. And it's like, imagine learning that as a teenager, healthy coping mechanisms or how to like navigate through life.
Mindfulness should be taught in school right now. Yeah. It's so like there should like be fit like gym and then yoga, like breath work and then, science. Like that really would help a lot. I'm very excited for the future because I feel like we now as like this new generation of people are getting in these positions to make the calls, and it's and the mindfulness is coming, and these old rich billionaire, well, I don't know who's up there, but get out, where it's like a new wave for the people. It's coming here, like the Elon Musk of the world. He's like here for the people.
I had an experience a couple of years ago. I was in Germany, and they've opened their borders for a lot of Syrian refugees. And I met a Syrian refugee called Alaska, and I stayed with him for a few days, and he was like showing me how to make hummus. And then we had like a family style dinner where we were eating, and he had like some stuff. He's like, oh yeah, this is like a Palestinian herb, and like firstly had so much fun making it together, and then we sat around, and the experience of eating together, I was like, wow, this is like so cool. And he was like, oh yeah, this is what we do every day in Syria. Like this is how we used to eat together, and like it's like having that experience and realizing, wow, like, you know, sometimes we get stuck in our understanding of like the culture we grew up in, and it's like so beautiful to experience other cultures. Is there something, I don't know, is there a message for people watching or listening right now that you'd love to share about, firstly, what you're passionate about, what you're doing, but also maybe just some life advice or some like something that you've learned in your life journey?
Yeah, if I could leave with anything is, and speaking from actual experience, be open for opportunity and open to accepting something that you're going to experience that's really uncomfortable. Whether that's from a person, a cuisine, going on a new trip, trying something different. Put yourself in that space and see what's that's like. It gives you a much greater sense of empathy, and it will allow you to, furthermore, like learn something at the end of the day. You'd be surprised with how much you learn from doing the simplest things.
Yeah. And I think for me, the biggest lesson I've learned is the grass isn't greener on the other side. So having FOMO is a waste of time. If anything, that Flavors from Afar taught me is you have the resources that you're dreaming about. They're right there, it's right in front of you. It's just finding ways to connect the dots and utilizing what you already have.
I love that. I love that. Well, thanks for this experience today. Like, it's been amazing.
Thank you so much.
Great food. Yes. We learned some new cooking skills.
Definitely. Definitely. Make some samboosas at home and let us know how they come out for real.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Cool. Thank you. But that was cool,
was fun.
man.
That was really cool. She had a lot of, I like what she's doing for the world, and it's nice to hear someone that, you know, went through it and is trying to help others.
Yeah, it's cool to hear other people's stories and like what they're passionate about, and obviously like it's so different from the world we're in. And
when she talks about refugees and all, it's like nice to understand more, not just a foundation, you know?
Yeah.
Not just something you're donating to, but like what's happening, why is this a problem, and it's nice to learn about that.
Yeah. I love that she was like put in a situation where she's like, okay, the funding's dried up, how else can I make this work? And then you go into that problem solving mode and creative problem solving.
Right.
Because I really relate to that. Obviously I might be like trying to solve other problems, but I love creative problem solving. It's like fun.
Yeah.
Like thinking, okay, how can we achieve the thing we're trying to do? I'm sure you're the same.
Oh yeah.
Creativity is all about like, how can we do this thing we're trying to do in a different way?
Yeah, and any sort of problem solving is some sort of creativity.
Yeah.
Like how can you got to think of an idea to like answer this problem.
And it kind of goes back to what we were talking about before as well, of like, there's so many problems in the world, whether it's like funding a refugee organization or, you know, how do we figure out clean energy or a better financial system, or all these things we've been talking about. And it's like, all of it involves problem solving and out of the box thinking. And it's like, you know, we're talking about kind of educating kids. I want to grow up in a world where like we are taught how to do creative problem solving, how to do out of the box thinking, rather than probably the education we both had, which was pretty like a structured, exam based, like follow this syllabus, follow this.
Yeah, like not
thing.
Realistic, like not like.
You're not often encouraged to do like
solving realistic problems.
Super creative, like thinking, how do we solve this? And I think we need a lot more of that.
Definitely. And that's nice to hear that her foundation is gearing towards like education.
Yeah. There's so much going on around, like you drive around LA and you wouldn't necessarily know, oh, there's tons of refugees from these different countries living here, trying to even, you know how she's saying that like a lot of those programs she's doing is just to help people connect, like build community, whether it's like a language class or like just a play day with the kids. And it's like, in a way, like I feel super grateful that we connected in with this community in Venice, but I don't think probably either of us have ever like struggled to connect and make friends with people. But firstly, like imagine moving to a country and you've got the language barrier and you can't even talk to people, and then like that must be so hard and so lonely to like just be uprooted. You have to leave your country through like because something crazy's happening there. Did you find that when you were in the military? Were you ever in like, was you just based in Korea? Or did you go elsewhere?
I've been to a bunch of places. Korea,
were you in
Germany.
were you in like any conflict zones where you were figuring out?
Yeah, but I was deployed. It wasn't much like, it was during the Iraqi war, but I was in Kuwait, which was nothing really going on there. But I was deployed during, in support of the Iraqi war. But I never really got to leave the base much, so I didn't really see what was going on off base.
What drove you to join the military, just out of interest?
Oh yeah. Well, my brother, when he graduated high school, he joined the Navy, and he graduated high school like maybe 5 to 6 years before I did.
So you just looked up to your brother? And was
I did look up to my brother a lot. Like, I always thought like what he knew was best. And so when I graduated high school, I wasn't planning on joining the military, but when I was done high school, like I limped through high school. I barely like made it. Had no intentions of going to college. I had no aspirations or goals at all in my life. I was just living day by day. After like when I graduated high school, it was like that summer. I didn't even have a job. My dad's just like, yo, look, get out of my house. And I'm like, what? He's like, you're done high school. You're not going to college. I don't understand what you plan on doing. Do you plan on living with me forever? Because nah, get out. Like right now, he's like, get out. He literally was kicking me out of the house. Yeah. And I'm like, where am I going to go? He's like, I don't care. You're 18. Figure it out. Yeah. Which is like,
I kind of like that in a way.
No, dude, my dad, I thank him I thank him all the time for making this decision. Yeah. So, I'm like, Mom, Dad's kicking me out. And she's like, you can't just kick him out, Steve. She's like, yeah, I can. He's like, figure something out right now. I want you to make a plan right now what you're going to do. And I'm like, I'll join the military. All right, how about that? He's like, all right, well, you need to, take the ASVAB. I want you to call right now. Call a recruiter. I was like, shit, I'll call the Army. Call the Army like that day. And the Army recruiter came out, gave me like a pre-ASVAB test to see if I would pass the actual one. And I failed that shit, the practice test. He's like, you ain't ready to take the regular test. So you had to here's a book, study. My dad's like, you better hurry this shit up, And then in the meantime, and you don't need as high of an ASVAB score as you do for the Air Force. The Air Force, you need a higher score. So, I'm like really thinking about joining the fucking Army right now. I'm about to join the Army. This is before 9/11, so I talked to my brother. He's in the Navy. He's like, what the fuck? You're joining the Army? What's wrong with you? Join the fucking Air Force.
Because the Navy and the Army and the Air Force, they're like all kind of have
yeah, well, they all know, and they all know that the Air Force is the best one. You want to be treated the best? Join the Air Force. Was my brother's words to me. He's like, if I could do it again, I'd join the Air Force. That's what he said, but he's in the Navy now. He's like, Jesse, I'm telling you, you don't want to go into the Army, you want to go into the Air Force. He was just like, he would not let me go. I'm like, nah, Anthony, it's just easier. The Army, I'm already almost there. I got a recruiter. He's like, just call an Air Force recruiter for me. I'm like, okay. So this is all happening fast. It's the summer of my year of graduating high school. So I get a hold of an Air Force recruiter. She shows up. She's like, all right, well, have you been studying for your ASVAB? Yes, because the Army one. She's like, I'm gonna take you to take the ASVAB. Like now the Air Force recruiter is, not the Army. I already changed. I already switched. I listened to my brother. I was just being lazy though. She was just like showed up fast. And she took me to get my ASVAB done. I took it. I got a 41. You need a 40 to get in the Air Force.
Oh, wow.
You need a 28 to get in the Army. I got a 41.
So you got into the Air Force?
Yeah, so she's like, you got 1 point high enough to get in. I was like, whoo, okay, let's go. So after you take your ASVAB, you go to this place called MEPS, where they kind of give you like a physical, and then they kind of like give you a little interview and ask you like what you want to do inside the Air Force or Army, wherever. It's like for all branches, called MEPS. And so I go, I do my physical. I have flat feet. Flat feet will get you not into the military because you give shin splits for running. So I had to like hide the fact that I have flat feet, like I was standing funny and shit. So you do this like physical thing, past that. Then they take you into a room, and another person, like a military person, sits you down and goes, okay, they tell you what jobs you qualify for based on your ASVAB score. But to them, they're like car salesmen, right? They're just trying to get you in and fill spots that need to be filled. They don't give a shit about you and your aspirations and dreams. They don't care. They just got to fill spots. So, the guy opens the book up. He's like, okay, based on your ASVAB scores, you could be a cop. And that was it. It was all.
Be a cop.
Yeah, and cops are very needed in the Air Force. It's like infantry for the Air Force. It's like not the best job. Like it's a hard job. And
so you're like, cool.
I was like, that's all I could choose from? They're like, yeah, that's it. I was like, all right, well, he's like, and there's stuff like you can become a military working dog.
So when you
police
first
officer.
joined, were you like, I'm gonna fly a fighter jet?
No, I was just like,
You didn't know?
I knew you had to be an officer to be a pilot. Like I knew that. I didn't know what I was gonna be. I just was like, I have no idea. So they said something about military working dog, which made me like feel confident of being a cop. I'm like, cool, I can work with dogs. That's cool. I'll do that. So they're like, okay. I was like, all right, I'll take it, cop. He's like, all right, so you can sign for 4 years, and or you can sign for 6 years, and you'll get $4,000 in E3 ranking after you graduate tech school. I'm like, can I call my dad? He's like, nah. Make a decision right now. I'm about to make a decision 4 to 6 years of my life right now. I'm like, all right, 6.
No way, just like that.
And like, $4,000 is like $2,800 after taxes. And shut the book. He's like, all right, you leave in 2 weeks. And I walked out the door. I was like, holy shit.
Wow.
Called my dad. He's like, well, what happened? I was like, well, I had this, that, and the other. He's like, you signed for 6? You could have just signed for 4, and if you liked it, stayed. What are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. So,
Wow.
And in 2 weeks, they shipped me off.
Do you know what I feel like? I feel like in the US, when people don't know what they want to do and they're like, got to that college age, it's probably quite common for people to be like, oh, I don't know, maybe I'll join the military. But in the UK, it's really pushed for people to take a gap year and travel the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like almost everyone.
I heard that.
It gets to the point where you're like college age, it's like, oh, everyone should take a gap year and just go travel the world and find themselves. And I think that should become a thing in the US.
That should become a thing.
Yeah.
How many people have you heard, I went to college for communications, but I don't want to do that. Because they're just kind of like had to make a decision quickly.
Yeah.
They didn't travel the world yet. They don't know what's out there.
Yeah,
Traveling the world definitely opens your fucking,
Yeah, and it's like, it takes some people years to figure out what their thing is. And then you might find your thing, and then you might have 2 years later, you're like, oh, I want to do a different thing now, So I feel like the pressure of like figuring out what you want to do in life, don't worry about it. Like, I just feel
right.
like,
Yeah, like for me, I wouldn't, like before I joined the military, I didn't think like that I'd want to make movies. I didn't think that. Even though like I had all these traits that led me to here, like if I was paying attention, I would have noticed it. But now that I'm here now and I think about all the things I did back then that like I was really interested in, makes sense. Like I was always the one kid with the video camera filming everything in my neighborhood, but not like making a movie, but just like I just like to capture the moments.
So prior to YouTube, it was the military, then you did the YouTube thing, and then the last few years you've been stepping into this kind of creative director and movie making and music videos. Can you share the whole story that we were talking about over lunch with Snoop and stuff?
Sure.
Or how much of that can you share?
Yeah,
So
I can share the whole thing.
Jesse made a pretty controversial music video with Snoop Dogg. When was it, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
It was right when Trump won.
Oh, so like 5
over
years
4
ago.
years ago.
Yeah. Tell me the story.
Okay.
Or those that don't know the story. It's so
It's
good.
pretty long, but why not, right? It's a really good story. It's a good story. So, like 4.5 years ago, I have the same manager as Snoop in the digital space. He gets me and Snoop a job to play a video game live at EA.
I remember that.
Yeah, we streamed like Battlefield or something together, just me and him. And then they did a bigger one, but it was just me and him at EA in Playa Vista. And I get there. My manager knows that I want to step more into directing. I'm in the green room. I've met Dog a couple times before, but he probably didn't remember, like just quickly. But so we're sitting in the green room, and I see Dog. My manager's like Nick. His name's Nick. He's like, Snoop, Jesse really wants to be doing more directing. You should let him direct one of your music videos, and he can post it on his YouTube channel because Snoop knows I have a lot of followers. He's like, no questions asked, for shizzle. That's what he said. I was like,
wow.
I didn't know my manager was gonna say that. I was like, whoa, wait, what's happening? And then
Had you said to your manager, I want to direct a music video?
Yeah,
Okay,
like he knows that but I didn't know he was gonna tee that up right then.
Oh, that's so good.
So then we play the video game. Snoop is really getting frustrated at the game, and we're live, and they won't let him smoke weed in there. Come to find out his controller was inverted the whole time. It's just kind of funny. But so we're done playing, and then I was like, Dog, let's go smoke one, because he rolls around in a Sprinter van.
Yeah.
I was like, let's go smoke one in your Sprinter van, talk about this video for like 10 minutes. He's like, okay. I was like, oh shit, this is what's happening. So go in his van, lights up 2 blunts, we're like smoking, and I'm just getting super high and super creative. I get kind of creative when I'm stoned, but I get like high ideas that aren't the best ideas, but they're ideas. I call them high ideas. And I'm just like, yo, Dog, we can make this world of clowns, because like, you know, the world's kind of like fucked up right now. This is 4.5 years ago, and we're all acting like idiots, and like we could put Resident Evil dogs in it, because I just saw this video of like these dogs that they casted for Resident Evil that I thought were cool. I'm like, we could cast them, and this, that, and the other. I'm just saying all this crazy shit high in the van. He's like, all right, cool, I'm into it. Give me your number. We exchange numbers. He's like, I'll give you the song in an hour. I got it. I got a song for you. Like, he already had it. You know, he gives me this.
He already had the lyrics and everything recorded?
He said he has a song already.
Okay.
Like a song that's already done. And yeah, it was already recorded. That's what he says right then. And then I get out of the van, and I'm so high I can't even find my Uber. But hour goes by, 2 hours go by, nothing from Dog. A day goes by, nothing. I'm like, oh, I guess this isn't happening. And then like 4 o'clock in the morning, like one night, like 2 days later, it's a text from Snoop, and it's a video, and it's like him in the studio, like bobbing his head, rapping something. And then he turns it off. He's like, yo, Jess, I wrote a new song based off the things that you said in the van. Send me your email at 4 a.m. I'm like, I remember jumping out of bed, like, I'm getting fucking video text from the Dog about, and then, wait, I just co-wrote a song with Snoop in a van when I was high? I was like, what is life right now? I was like, this is crazy. So he sends me the song, and then I start writing the treatment, and I bring on my friend James. He does a lot of music videos. This is my first like major music video, so I kind of wanted some help. I brought on my boy James. He's done a lot of Post Malone music videos. So me and him kind of like sat down. We started fleshing out like a treatment. I kind of told him what I told Snoop in the van, so we're basing our treatment off of that. And like our idea was like, let's make fun of like the both presidential candidates, because Trump hasn't won yet. They were just running. Hillary and Trump were running. So I was like, in the music video, I was like, we're gonna just like have them debating, and they're gonna look like clowns. Yeah. Like that's what the idea was. So we get all the treatment out, we get it done. Snoop's into it. It's just my first big production, so production's taken a lot longer than I'd like, and it took so long that Trump actually won. So he's now the president.
So then you were like, let's throw out the Hillary section.
Yeah, so and the day he won, I was like, I called Snoop, I was like, Snoop, if this is too much, if I'm talking too much, let me know.
No.
Okay. So Snoop calls me the day Trump won. We were talking on the phone. I'm like, Snoop, what are we gonna do? Like, the video doesn't make sense now. I was like, we can change it, and like, I could rewrite it, but do you want to go in on Trump? He is the fucking president now. Yeah. He's like, yeah, fuck him. I was like, okay, click, and then I was like, all right, yeah, fuck him. I was like, I'm into it too. So then we wrote it that like, now in the video.
And what was the Trump character? What were you called?
Ronald Klump.
Ronald
so there's
Klump.
I was gonna say, in the music video, there's a character named Ronald Klump that's deporting all dogs. Because it was when he was deporting, like, everyone was this controversy, like he's deporting all illegals.
Yeah, I remember when he was like, when he first came into office, it was like closing the borders to all Muslims.
Yeah, all this crazy
I was
shit.
like, what?
And then like in the video, like a cop kills an innocent person. Like, this is all, we like foresaw a lot of stuff. Cops killing innocent people.
Which was already happening, but it wasn't in the mainstream media in the same way it has been in the last couple of years.
Since George Floyd.
Yeah.
It was like before that, some other guy got killed by the cops. It was, but it wasn't
I think
as
a lot of other guys, but it was almost underreported, and it was like, I mean, we can go into the next video you're talking about, your latest one, but like the Black Lives Matter movement, it kind of had started, but it was like not. It wasn't as big as it is like now or last year or whatever.
Yeah, I remember like that other. Either way.
Can I just say, like, I love that we've been talking about how do we use our platforms and experience and everything to address social issues, and like you've been doing it with these music videos for like 5 years with like political stuff, like tricky things, like there's obviously
it's very cryptic.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I
me too.
love it. And it's like mocking. It's satire, right? It's like the whole approach. I love it, man.
Yeah, and
so you made the video. Talk us through like the section.
Okay, yeah. So in the video, Ronald Klump, deporting all dogs, we do that part, and then at one point in the video, like he shows up to the dog's house, and the dog comes out with a gun, points it at his head, pulls the trigger, and a flag pops out, says bang. Doesn't actually shoot him. Right?
It's a clown gun.
And like in the video, we have like news reporters that are clowns. Like there's a scene, if you pay attention, he picks up the papers and shuffles them. It says lies all over it. Like the media, we're saying that the media is lying. Like in this video, like we're very cryptic. There was a lot of like underlining meaning to this video.
Social commentary.
Yeah, that like if you're not paying attention, you're not going to see it. And so that happens, and at the end of the video, like Donald Trump's just like in chains, like he got locked up, and me and Snoop are smoking a blunt. I put myself in the video. I had to. I was like, what's the coolest thing I could do with a dog in a video? Is smoke weed and have fingerless gloves on. All right, so the video took me forever to edit. I post it.
It went pretty viral, didn't it?
Right. So I send it to Snoop. I get no response from him. Like, is this cool? Not cool? Can we post it? I get to post on my YouTube channel. He never answered me, so I'm just like, okay. I posted it, smoked a fat blunt, went to bed. I was so tired.
So you didn't even get the go-ahead from him?
No.
But he knew. He saw the whole
thing. He was there. So I was just so tired because I was up that last night, completely 24 hours getting it done, and then I posted it. Then I wake up the next day, and Snoop Dogg is trending everywhere. Everywhere. But it's negative. It's like, this is disrespectful. This is...
but who's saying that?
Right-wing media.
Okay.
So right-wing media is doing exactly what I was demonstrating in the video. It's all to get played perfectly to my advantage, the way I thought it would. Yeah. Like, I remember when I went to bed that night talking to James at Help Me Make It, I was like, yo, if Trump tweets about this, we fucking win. I remember we kept saying we win. And so, but it started out right-wing media bashing Dog. He's going to jail, all this shit. I'm texting Dog, no response. His manager.
So you worried at this point?
I thought me and Snoop were going to jail. I thought I was going to be responsible for getting Snoop in trouble for something. I was like, fuck, man, what did I do? I felt sick to my stomach. I thought helicopters were flying. Bro, it was the most intense. Like, so Snoop's not answering me. His management was like, do not talk to anybody. Media wants to talk to you. You cannot talk to them. Wow. Promise us. Let the art speak for itself. That's what his management said. Like TMZ's hitting me up. I want to take all these. They want me to go live on CNN and shit. And I want to do it. I'm like, I want to do that. But they're like, don't. So I was like, I respect the Dog. Like, I got to do what he says. It's his team. I was like, all right, I respect that. I won't take any fucking meetings. Like 2 days go by, 3 days go by. I'm sick. I think I'm going to jail. Like all this media is coming out. Like politicians are getting shown this photo, and the media did exactly what I thought. They took shit out of context and was delivering it fake, like not the full story. Because Ronald Klump didn't get shot in the video, he got pranked. Yeah. So, but they're delivering it like he did, like he assassinated the clown in the video. Which is like what I kind of wanted, but now that it's happening, I'm like, uh-oh, is this too much? And then Trump tweets it.
He tweeted? What did he say? Quote, I didn't remember seeing
that. Yeah, I saved the tweet. I was going to put it in a frame. He said, with Snoop Dogg's dying career and all, if you would have pointed the gun at Barack Obama, jail time. That's what he tweeted. Wow. And I was like, oh shit, now what's gonna happen? So when he did that, left-wing media was like, yo, why is the president in a rap beef with Snoop? We watched the video. This isn't bad. This is parody. This isn't bad. Now Snoop is a fucking hero, legend, the man. He's blowing up even higher, and everyone thinks he's the fucking man, right? And now he's texting me. Fire emojis, gas emojis, he's happy.
So he was probably like,
he was probably freaked out
like,
too.
Shit,
yeah, same like me. But now he was like, no, you're a hero now. It worked. It fucking worked, dog. We did it. So now everything's cool, but I'm still like talking to lawyers. I'm like, can I get in trouble for this? Like, and then like Snoop's lawyer calls me and was like, yo, the Secret Service just hit us up. They want to talk to Snoop and they want to talk to you. This is Snoop's lawyer. He's like, we agreed to take a meeting with them. You can just, piggyback on our meeting and we all meet together, or you could say go fuck themselves, but they'll come find you. That's what he said to me.
Wow.
I was like, no, I'll jump on the meeting with you. I'll jump in the meeting with you guys. Let's go. Like whatever, what I need to do. Dude, this is crazy. I can't believe this happened in my life, thinking about it now.
I think it might be one of the craziest stories I've ever heard.
And then, I had to wait a week. So for a whole week, I was just like, trying to think about my story, like why I made this video, to tell the Secret Service. And I'm just like, so they bring us in. I had this poetic way of delivering the reason for the art, ready to go. I had a whole week to think about it.
Yeah.
We go in,
Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, sort of. So we go in, we sit down. Secret Service comes in, it's like three people, 2 guys and a girl, look like ex-military. They seemed a little bit nervous. I'm like, why are they nervous? Because it's freaking Snoop Dogg, So me, Snoop Dogg, Secret Service, we're here. Here we go. We're like, all right, we just wanted to bring you guys in. We want you to know that you did not do anything illegal. This is
good start.
This isn't illegal what you did. This is parody. Inciting violence on the President of the United States is a concern here. But what you did is not that. It's parody. We get it. But it's our duty as the Secret Service, at any capacity, if anybody threatens any sort of violence at all, ever even talked about in a bar, we gotta follow up. This is our duty. And this is us following up. And I'm like, well, obviously we don't want to hurt him. Like, what the, but I get it. So, all right, cool. So they come in, they're like, so why'd you do it? And then I'm looking at Dog, and I wrote it, and I got it all figured. Like, I don't even know Dog knew how cryptic I made the video, So he's about to speak, and I was like, you know what? I should take it first. I was like, Dog, could I take it first? He's like, yeah. I was like, so, what's going on in the world? Like, this was like social commentary. Like, there's a lot of clownery going, like with the police shooting people by mistake. How the media likes to twist things and make stories that aren't true. And as far as the president's concerned, as you can see in the video, we didn't actually shoot him, and the media switched it into something that it wasn't, and turned it in more than it is, and that's why you guys are here, because the media, it worked. The whole video kind of worked, and this was like a universe that doesn't exist. It's like Batman, That's what I said. Remember I said that, but I was just like, it was to create some commentary around what's going on in America right now, and the media flipped it. That wasn't what it was presented. And okay, cool. They're writing shit down. I mean, I probably said it a lot better. I can't fully remember. It was something along those lines.
Yeah.
And then they're like, whose idea was it? Looking at Snoop, Snoop's looking at me, we're looking back at each other. No one said, oh no, after I said that, Snoop was like, yeah, I'm just having fun, man. I don't hate Trump. I was on his roast, I was like, I roasted him. We know, we're just having fun. Like, okay. And then they're like, whose idea was it? And then we're quiet for 45 seconds to a minute. And then I finally was like, listen, I wrote it. It was my idea.
You think he was waiting for you to own up?
There's no way he's going to say it, because I did write it.
Yeah.
But I know why he didn't own up also afterwards. He told me why. Or why he didn't speak up. And he didn't want to rat me out, So I was just like, yeah, I wrote it. It was my idea. Snoop knew what we were doing, but essentially I'm the one that wrote it.
I'm just going to cruise around until we wrap up our conversation. And then.
And he's like, all right, cool. Write that shit down. I was like, what the fuck, what? Oh, no. And then they're like, we just want to close the book on this. We just want to figure out better ways to have a line of communication so we don't lash out at the president like this ever again. We're like, yeah, okay, look, give us your number. That's what Snoop said. Give us your number or something. And then it was done. They closed the book on it. We walked out. I'm in the elevator with Snoop, and he was like, I'm like, yo, Snoop, you gangster again right now. Like, this is gangster for you. He's like, I know, let's do a part 2. I'm like, no, I do not want to talk about this again. And then he's like, he's like, if I would have told him I did that, you think they would have locked me up? Because you're white. He's like, thank God you're white, Jesse. That's what he said. Thank God you're white. That's what he kept saying to me. Because he's like, I don't think it would have went this easily if you weren't.
Honestly.
And I'm like, I think you're right, dog. Like, for real, I think you're right. So, I might be on some sort of list somewhere somehow, but
I think that's such a good recognition as well. Like, and it's something, especially after the Black Lives Matter movement stuff that really blew up last year, is like realizing how privileged we are. And it's almost like I'd never truly understood the extent of how the world is built for us to be protected, and as white men.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting that you can take ownership of like, oh yeah, I'm doing the social commentary about issues like police brutality. And then you were saying in the latest video, you touched on slave ownership.
Oh, the second video.
Going back in time, right?
Yeah. Then we did another music video, and I'm just like, I wrote it. I'm just like, man, dog, we need some sort of like way to get tweeted again by the president, kind of thought,
Yeah.
I was like, what if we had you travel back in time in a time machine? I actually kind of got this idea loosely from the Dave Chappelle show. He did an episode where he travels back in time with a bunch of pimps, and they like go to a slave, what would you call it?
Like a plantation.
Plantation. Sorry. So I was like, dog, we should do that with you. It'd be fucking epic, and you could, slap up a slave owner and like free some slaves in this video. And in the video he does that. Because the video is like, I see your bullshit, so we're calling out bullshit. And there was another scene where like there's a school chalkboard, and on the chalkboard it says like Christopher Columbus discovered America, blah 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 blah. And we like smashed the chalkboard. Yeah. And then like we put that video out, and it did alright, whatever. Like people didn't really, it wasn't like the first one. But then like 3 months later, the whole Black Lives Matter movement started, and they were pulling down Christopher Columbus statues. Yeah. Like, I was like, whoa, we kind of foresaw that happening and boiling over too. Like,
Well, this is what I love. It's like we talk about like how can we address some of these really heavy issues, but in an accessible way that's not too much. And it's like through the lens of kind of comical parody social commentary. It's like you're touching on really heavy issues, whether it's like Christopher Columbus and what happened to the Native Americans, and then slavery. And it's like these are issues that I love that you were exploring with these specifically these music videos. Do you think there's other issues that you want to highlight or like talk about in some of these like narrative TV shows or movies you want to make? Is there stuff that's like you think would be cool to like?
Oh yeah. Well, the next thing I'm doing is the show I'm writing is I want to really educate in a cool way. Like, it's not gonna be an educational video. It's gonna be a scripted show that's gonna be entertaining as fuck. But like inside the show, I want to educate people in the crypto space. So
you talk about tearing down the financial institutions, what banks are doing, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, just like education and some sort of narrative storytelling. But you'll be learning. Yeah. And it's going to be like, the ideas I have will be really sick. It just takes work. I get it. And I got to shake that doubt that I can't do it sometimes. Sometimes I start hitting me with the doubt, but now I'm doing it. It's going to be sick.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with the crypto space right now, there's a lot going on and a lot of viralness to it, but no one's educating. And people are getting fucked, and people are making stupid decisions.
Well, it's because the people that are jumping in, and even for me, like I kind of jumped in very naively, and have kind of currently feel like, oh, I've lost a lot of money, but it's someone's gaining. So it's almost right now the naivety in the space is what's helping the big people kind of
100.
make money off the little guys. So
And
yeah,
that-
giving the little guys the power through educating, showing them
Right.
how to cleverly invest and make sure that they're not making silly decisions.
Right, and how do I do that in a creative way for you
Yeah.
to be entertained at the same time? And I got it dialed right now. And because like, this is my advice I always give people. They're like, yo, how do you know what to make? Like, how do you know what I should make on YouTube? Or how? And my advice to them is always create something that you would watch. So I'm making a show that I would watch to teach me about crypto. That's what I'm doing because I want to know. I need to know more. Like how.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm up to.
As we're kind of wrapping up, I'd love to zoom out for a second and just be like, looking back at a lot of the stuff you've achieved, from like becoming the biggest YouTube channel at the time, or freaking, sitting down with Snoop Dogg and doing a whole music video with him. A lot of this stuff is like people's dream of achieving this kind of stuff, and you've managed to make your dreams a reality. You've managed to like achieve stuff. What do you think? And even amongst having like self-doubt, what advice would you give to people listening or watching that want to do more with their lives? They want to achieve their dreams, but they're like either fearful, doubting themselves. Maybe they just can't see how they get there. What have you learned along the way, and why do you think you have actually succeeded in so many of your dreams?
I'd say if there's a space that you want to, make a profession or a career or be good at, is like educating yourself within that space and taking the time to do so. I feel like it's a good piece of advice that I would give myself, back in the days.
And then what about your attitude or belief about what's possible? Why do you think you've managed to succeed so well in your life? Like what makes it special? What makes it special?
Jesus. What makes it special?
Yeah, what do you think about your mind and how you operate has helped you get to where you are? That you could pass on that advice to people?
Let me think about it. I think definitely discipline, which I've learned in the military. So like having a really disciplined attitude,
Which helped with the daily vlogging.
yeah, like and the whole I can or I'm not good enough or it won't be good idea will fuck you. Like always speak in a place like I'm doing this, I've done it.
Yeah.
Just by those words are so powerful. And as soon as you start falling into the world of like, any sort of doubt your project, you're screwed. You can't doubt yourself. And then I still fall into that sometimes. It's not something you just shake and you got it, but like if you can like practice that, it will help a lot.
Yeah, and I love like something it's a word that I've learned here in Venice, but I was already practicing a bit, like the whole thing of manifesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I used to call it like breathing the dream is how I used to refer to it when I was like a teenager. Like I'd have an idea and I was so certain on that happening. And I loved earlier when you corrected yourself from like, I want to make the movies, or I think I might, to I'm going to.
Yeah.
And it's
that's
like having
powerful.
that attitude, speaking that out. Honestly, you cannot underestimate how powerful it is to just say the words like, I'm gonna do this, rather than, I want to, or maybe I'll do it.
Yeah.
It's like
You have
having
like
that
60% more chance of it happening if you speak in that way.
I love that.
And I also get really weird and deep, like like this isn't practical, but like I sometimes think this whole and this is crazy what I'm about to say. This whole world is my world. Like
Yeah,
I've created this inside of my head and I get to control it.
Yeah.
And if I want something, I could have it. Like if I wanted, like, I'm not sure that if I want something, I could have it. But if I believe enough in it, it's most likely going to happen, or it will. Or I don't know, like weird manifestation. Or fuck, you should cut all this. Let me think this again. I told you I was gonna get weird. I'm
No,
like,
it's great. No, where they say like you design the world that you live in.
right.
And yes, there's hurdles, and a lot of people are born into really, really tough situations where they aren't as privileged as us. But I still think if you have that mentality that you don't need to live within the constructs and constraints of like your current situation, you know, I feel like even people in the worst scenarios can find the connections they need and the believe that they can have anything, you know?
Right. And then sometimes when creepy shit happens, like you full on manifested something like right away, and you're like that was like I wanted that, I wanted to do that, and I asked for it, I called it, and then it aligned to that easily. It kind of gets creepy. And then when it starts happening a lot, then you're like, all right, I'm in my flow. Whatever I'm doing, like my decision making is working, and I'm controlling my universe. And it's like this is your world. You can control it.
Oh, wow. I feel like we could carry on chatting for hours, but thanks for being a part of the podcast.
Yo, we made it.
Where can people find you, your videos and your channel and stuff?
So probably at AMC theaters, movie theaters, Blockbuster. They still exist. Maybe they'll make it to Blockbuster. No, Netflix. Maybe no. Just Jesse on YouTube. That's it. I don't know if you know that I got them to switch my old username from PrankVsPrank to just JESSE.
Nice.
And Twitter, Instagram.
Sweet. I'll link them below. Thanks, bro.
Thanks so much for having me. That was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, sick, man.
Nice.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow Jesse and Flavors from Afar and subscribe to this podcast for future episodes. Please leave a comment suggesting future guests you'd like to see on the show.